up, everyone? Welcome back to Girls with Goals with your hosts, AnnCatherine
and Caroline.
And welcome to
our first video podcast.
So exciting.
If you're watching, or if you're listening on Spotify, you can also be watching on Spotify. And if you're listening somewhere else, you can also be watching on Spotify.
Or you can just keep listening.
Yeah, but we're so excited to do a video podcast.
The video part is not just going to be us talking. As you watch, there'll be little chunks of other videos to kind of explain what we're talking about and make it a little bit more visual.
Yeah, visualize, share bits of our life. We're so excited not only to create something so unique and special to us, but also to have this extra level of connection with you guys, being able to have this face-to-face sit-down conversation and for you guys to actually see who's talking.
That's true. I was listening to last week's episode and I was a little bit sick and we sound the exact same.
Really? I sounded sick?
No. But I was just, even I couldn't tell, who was talking and who wasn't. So now you guys
exactly
can tell.
I always wonder if, we're twins. I don't know if we have super similar voices, but now you can see it. Now we can, really talk to you guys. I wish that we were all in a room together and we could see you as well. But for now, this is what we've got.
And today we're going to talk all about balance, a balanced lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. All those, I feel like hashtag balanced lifestyle is trending right now.
It's the hashtag on all of my posts.
Right. It is the hashtag. 6 months ago, it was that hashtag that girl, and now it's hashtag balanced lifestyle.
And that's something that we talk about and is central to our podcast, balance. And it's a big piece of Girls with Goals. We wanted this to be a space where it wasn't just health and fitness in maybe the one mainstream way that you see it, but that we're portraying lives of balance and we're inclusive of so many different things.
And I think that's what the podcast was for us initially, first episode, the new era, bringing in a bunch of different aspects into our life and into the content that we share, beyond just how to do this workout and how to cook this meal and how to journal.
So before we get into what is a balanced lifestyle, let's do our highs, lows, and goals, face-to-face for the first time. What's your high from the week?
My high from the week was, yesterday I went to the gym and there was one person in there. The gym in our apartment building has a 4-person limit, so there was one person in there, and I was like, it was in the middle of the day. The chances that no one else was coming were pretty high. So I just kind of waited around until they left, and then I went and started my hour because we have an hour limit. So I waited until they left, until it was completely empty, and I got the gym all to myself, which means I got to use the speakers.
Aux up.
I got an aux up in the gym.
Aux. Oh, that's so nice, though. Our apartment gym is small, so when you can have it to yourself,
it is so small.
It's so nice. Because when there are other people in there, it feels strangely intimate, as I feel like going to the gym at any time does. It can be a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit intimate, but when it's such a small space like that is, working around with other people, you kind of have a guard up or something, a little bit.
It's just
you're just
there's
aware.
Always this knowledge that 2 centimeters from you is someone else.
Yeah.
Also,
that's a very valid high to have it to yourself, be able to put the aux in. That's funny though, because I went right after you and there were 3 other people in there with me. So right after you, it was crowded.
So lucky.
You got the power hour.
But that was the power hour. But that was really nice. That was my high.
My high, just generally this week, I have been waking up early and feeling like I have been having more control over my days.
I want to point out that it is Wednesday.
Okay, so for the past 2 days,
and on Monday she slept until
early.
11.
So that's kind of where it started for me. I, for so long now, have just been really off my sleep schedule and really off my routine, and it's shifted my whole day because if I can get up early in the morning, I like to have a very productive start to my day and then a pretty chill and rest night. And so for a while that's been very shifted because I haven't had my sleep schedule together and it's been a real mess. And every week I've been telling myself this is the week I'm going to fix it. This is the week I'm going to fix it. On Monday of this week, I woke up at 11. And it was a real wake-up call for me because I was really? On a Monday? I can't even get this right on a Monday. And so I decided that every day forward I was going to actually set an alarm and get myself up
All 2
early.
days.
All 2 days. I've
crazy.
done it so far, but I'm going to keep doing it for the rest of the week. Yesterday, I woke up in the morning, and it helps if you, like, kind of have something to get up for, because otherwise what would you be doing? But yesterday, I got up in the morning. My dad and I went for a run before he went to work, so that was nice. Like, I got to spend time with my dad and also get some exercise in the beginning of the day. And then today, I actually had a meeting, like a call at 7 a.m. also because of the time difference. I had a 7 a.m. call, so I had to be up anyways. Tomorrow, we're both going into the office for our internship, so we're going to have to be up again.
So true.
And then Friday, I'll find a reason to do it too. So I'm going to have a 4-day streak this week, and so far, these 2 days, I'm feeling really good about it. So that's my high, feeling like I have had a good jump start on my days. And I've been a little bit more in control of my routine than I have been recently.
My low, let me just tell you.
Wait, I'm not even sure what it is.
Rice.
Oh my god.
Okay, I don't like brown rice. I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste. I don't like the amount of time it takes to cook. Like, everything about it. It just irks me. I do not like brown rice.
Not a brown rice girl.
I'm not a brown rice girl. I eat rice with, like, every meal because that's just an easy, quick, simple carb source, right? And last night, I was so excited I had chicken, rice, and vegetables, and, like, the chicken... Oh, the chicken was literally...
The chicken was really good chicken.
Good.
It was really good chicken.
So good. It was so good. And I was so excited to, like, make a nice bowl with it. There was no white rice.
Because I cooked brown rice.
Because Karen cooked
I like both.
17 servings.
Yeah. That was also...
of brown rice.
That was also a thing. I wanted brown rice because we'd just been having, like, white sushi rice over and over. And I was like, I want to switch it up. I want to have some brown rice. And I went to cook brown rice. And I, like, overestimated how much, like, dry would make how much cooked, and I made a ton, but it only took me like 3 days to finish, though.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, not long.
So the other night I was like, fine, rice is rice, like, I'll just eat it, knowing that we were gonna restock the white rice. Apparently
it got lost in translation.
Apparently the grocery store was out of white rice.
Really?
Apparently.
So it wasn't really, like, the brown rice, it was the lack of white rice.
Yes.
Okay.
And the disappointment and the sheer just heartbreak that I had to go through.
Okay, so then I think today you need to get white rice.
I will personally make sure that there's white rice.
Right? Like,
fully
just
stocked
walk
in
out,
house.
go to, like, you can get white rice anywhere. You don't even have to go to, like, the big grocery store. You can probably go anywhere and get some white rice.
The Japanese grocery store below our
good.
gym.
It's good.
Is where
Don Don Donki.
Don Don Donki.
We have talked about Don Don Donki in the past. You guys know it. Maybe I'll get sushi from Don Don Donki today.
Don Don Donki, the sushis there are, like, that
It's
big.
the biggest sushi I've ever had in my
video
life.
podcasts. Picture.
Video podcast. We can show you.
Don Don Donki sushi it will get you full for weeks. Like, it will... Stomach aches after one roll because they're just so packed.
Yeah, not stomach aches, but I did say in a past episode about this sushi that it is the only sushi in my life that I have been satisfied after one roll. Usually, I'm a bottomless pit when it comes to sushi, but this sushi is, as you can see if you're watching on Spotify, so big. And it's this Japanese grocery store. They have them all around Singapore, but there's one specifically that is on the bottom floor of where our gym is, and so it's very convenient.
What was your low?
My low this week is I don't feel like I've been getting enough sun or getting outside enough, which is strange because I have had more hours in my day because I've been waking up earlier. And I actually have been, like, stepping outside in the morning and getting a little bit of the morning sun. But throughout my days, I haven't spent much time outside. I feel like I've been very busy and working inside, and I just haven't prioritized getting outside. And sometimes I feel like a day is, like, almost wasted if you don't get some sunshine in you. Even though that's not true, but it can feel like
photosynthesis.
It can feel like that when it adds up and you have, like, a few days in a row where you don't really spend time outside. And so that's my goal for next week as well, is to just prioritize a little bit of time outside every day, even if it's not, like, actually going to the pool or the beach or something, to just, like, somehow spend a little bit of time outside.
That's kind of like my goal for this past couple days, and my goal for the week going forward has been to, number one, not go on my phone when I wake up, because my phone has been causing me so much negative energy, and it's really stressing me out. Like, if I could throw it off the balcony and never go get it, I would. At this point. But I've also been waking up and, like, just going outside while I drink some water. Objectively, that's been nice. I can't tell if it's made a positive impact, but it's definitely not made a negative impact.
I feel like it has.
So I'm going to keep doing it.
I actually feel like you've been in a good mood most mornings. And it's probably a combination of that.
I'm typically in a good mood in the morning.
Yes. But I feel like it's a combination of the sunshine and the no phone. Just, like, not consuming social media and phone things for the first little bit of your day makes such a difference. So balance. Everybody talks about a balanced life. We talk about a balanced life. A balanced lifestyle is, like, the key to the world, it seems. But what is a balanced lifestyle? Like, what actually does that look like? And balance is such an abstract concept. Like, I'm not sure there really is a definition to it, but we want to try to define it today. At least what it means to us in our own words and experiences, and maybe it resonates with what it means to you guys as well. Maybe what we think is a little bit different from each other, because, again,
I think it is.
Yeah. Everyone has their own sort of concept and experience of what balance is, but I think when you can at least define what it means to you, it can make a huge difference in actually living that out in your life. Balance to me means that no one aspect of your life overpowers to the point where it takes away from others. Like, I feel like your whole realm of living, there are, like, so many different things that go into one life, and so, like, your whole existence is balanced in the way that no one thing overpowers so much that it takes away from the other. And then within each of those subcategories, whether it's, like, health and fitness, social life, work, rest, within each of those categories, there's balance as well. So it's kind of like the entire realm of life is balance, where you have a lot of different things fulfilling you, a lot of different things going on, and then within each of those categories, there's a bit of balance as well.
I agree with that, and I think that balance at different points in your life, it has to shift. It's like a little pie chart of your life, and then all the little things that make up who you are and what you're interested in and where you put your energy can shift and adjust, but nothing ever goes to zero, because that would mean something is overpowering everything else. I think balance is just your life. I'm always kind of hesitant to put blanket terms or defining terms onto just a way of life, because I don't think it's easily described in just one word, but I think the idea of balance and kind of the trend of balance right now just means allowing you to live your life as you want and to not feel like you have to only focus on one thing in order for that one thing to be valued in your life. Like, we talk about this with health and fitness, and I think the push on social media is, from a health and fitness perspective, opening your life up to, like, social interactions and things beyond just strict lift weights, do your cardio, eat your protein, go to sleep, and do it all again. Like, there's more to life than just that. And I think historically it's been very difficult to have a life beyond that and also value and respect your own fitness. It's almost like when you open up your life to doing more, the health and fitness part of your life has to be neglected, but that's absolutely not the case. Like, you can have a super strong, healthy lifestyle, be making progress, be gaining strength, be super fit, and also have a really good social life and have a life beyond the gym and outside of the gym. And I think a lot of times, too, once you do allow yourself to have that life beyond just one thing and to make room for every different facet of life, all the other ones are strengthened in turn.
Exactly, and I think it's better that way when you can have all of the different things, because we've said this a lot recently. I feel like it's like a term or like a phrase that I don't even know like which one of us said it first, but I feel like we kind of keep repeating it, that a healthy lifestyle is meant to be lived, or that a healthy lifestyle isn't worth it without a life, right? Because, like, what are you actually doing health and fitness for? To support a healthy, strong, fun life where you can do all of your other things. So you have to make sure that you are also doing all of those other things, because a healthy lifestyle is meant to be lived. And so that's kind of where balance comes in to that perspective.
Okay, another hesitation that I have with using the term balance, and especially talking about the, like, trend of balance on social media you always see. I think a lot of people use or have started to use balance as maybe an excuse for something, and it's more of like, rather than strict health and fitness in a set definition, rather than going from having too much energy in health and fitness and not enough in kind of the other aspects of your life, and bringing other aspects in to support a healthy lifestyle, I think it's, for some people, flipped, and it's an unhealthy lifestyle with a few little pieces of a healthy lifestyle sprinkled in, and just called balance, when those are two completely different, outlooks and lifestyles.
Yeah, I think that everyone starts in a different place when it comes to finding balance, whether you start from a place where you're too hooked and obsessive on one thing, whether that's career or fitness or anything like that, or you come from a place where you want to be more engaged with things and like you want to bring more things into your life. Yeah, but I do agree that balance should be like a positive thing that we all strive for, but not an excuse, I guess.
Yeah. A balanced lifestyle isn't living an unhealthy lifestyle and calling it balance and telling yourself that it is healthy just because balance. A balanced lifestyle is a healthy lifestyle that makes room for all aspects of life.
A balanced, healthy lifestyle is just understanding that health is not just one thing. It's physical health, it's mental health, it's social, it's all of these different things. And so it's living a healthy lifestyle in a sense that health is brought from all different aspects of your life.
And going back to the kind of pie chart idea, it doesn't have to be equally. Like, you do not have to spend equal parts social and gym and cooking, right? You do not have to spend the same amount of time. You need to give parts the same amount of respect, but you can kind of create your own ratio and percentage to match what's going to be valuable for you and your lifestyle and where you're at now.
Yeah, because balance is going to look differently to everybody. I think while we're all kind of pulling from those same pillars or categories, like just naturally as people, we're all different. We all get energy and find fulfillment more so in different ways than others. Some people are very like mentally driven and focused. Some people are very physically driven and focused, and that's how they expend and receive energy. And so that balance is not going to look the same for everybody. And even for you, it, like AnnCatherine said, it doesn't mean that there has to be equal focus on everything, but there has to be adequate focus on everything. And even at different times of your life, some things might have more weight at different times of your life. I mean, we're growing and evolving and changing just naturally throughout our lives. You guys know that. We did an episode on You Don't Need to Change, talking about how change doesn't always have to be forced, because we have such a natural evolution of life where if we give ourselves the time and the space, we change and grow and see what we're drawn to. And at different times of your life, these different areas may be pulling more weight and you may be drawn to one over the other, and that's fine. And so that balance may even look different at different times of your life as that natural evolution happens. So what does balance look like for us now, and where have we kind of had to work to find that balance?
For me, I know the most recent kind of adaptation of balance, and where I've, spent energy and put focus on bringing more balance and more space for, another aspect of my life is with social life. In the past, I've brought balance in the sense of like less restriction and making time for fitness and movement and expanding my view of what health is. Mm-hmm. But I think most recently, within the last year or semester of school, I've made more time and more availability in my life for social life. I think I'm such a social person. My social battery doesn't really run out. I love meeting new people all the time. I love being around people. When I'm around good people, I get super energized. I know that about me. But recently, in the past year or so, I've learned to not do that and kind of be apprehensive around new people and not want to waste my time, meeting new people if it's gonna be either damaging or like in my head a waste of time. So I've taken that part out of where I put my energy intentionally. So I kind of learned to take the social aspect out of my pie chart or minimize it a little bit, and that just leads to kind of boring life.
Loneliness.
It leads to loneliness,
Yeah.
which is just not fun. And I understand, I think it was a necessary step and kind of reaction to things that were going on in my life, but no one wants to be lonely or feel lonely. So adding more social life in, or just making more space for people to have a larger part in my life and in my pie chart, and the balance of things that I put my energy into has been my focus with balance recently.
Yeah, I think that's very true. For me, I don't think that balance comes very naturally to me. Like,
it doesn't. Girl has a one-track mind.
Yeah, like, in some ways, I do, because I think that I force myself to balance things, because I like to say yes to everything and have, like, a lot of things going on in my life at the same time. And because of that, I, like, kind of have to balance them. But I don't think that naturally I'm a very balanced person. I have a one-track mind, an obsessive kind of personality.
Like, literally tunnel vision.
Like, yes, I get very tunnel vision. Like, when I have something that I like, or when I have a goal or a dream or something, like, I just, like, want to only do that and only think about it. So when something kind of takes over my mind, it's really hard for me to take a step back and make sure that I have balance and make sure that I'm fulfilling things at all times, like all of these different things.
And not even, that comes in the sense of, like, having a one-track mind and just, like, taking goals or dreams and running with them can produce some really good things.
Yeah.
However, when that is the only thing that she's thinking about or doing, like, you can see her room is messy, like, the dishes don't get done, all the little things that are just, like, life maintenance that are required of life don't get done.
Yeah, call me out. But no, it's true. Like, when I have something that I go with, I get very tunnel visioned and I kind of, like, push everything else off to the side. I do like that quality about myself because it means that I get very passionate and driven about things, but
everyone would love to be that way. To not have to, you know, take a break from doing something that you enjoy and that you want to be doing, but
it can have
it's so
bad
necessary.
Side effects.
It can have really bad side effects.
It can have really bad side effects because it also means that I overwork myself and I stress myself out really easily, and when I am super one-track focused on something, like, other things go away. It's really easy for me to push away a social life, and it's really easy for me to, like, neglect basicer things. I know that, like, in terms of health and fitness, like, my nutrition is kind of, like, the first thing to go sometimes, not in, like, a bad sense.
Not in the sense of, like, automatically just eating unhealthy or eating foods that aren't nutrient dense and will make you feel good, but just, like, being lazy with
exactly
that, like, random meal times and
random foods.
Yeah,
foods. Like, I'll get lazy with
I know
my
if
nutrition.
you guys are in college or, like, live a stressful life and you're cooking for yourself, when you get busy, the things you start to make for, like, dinner or lunch are the most
so
random. Like, I would have, my roommate would make fun of me because I would have, like, a bowl of cereal and a protein bar and, like, a side of peanut butter, and I'd be like, yeah, this is good. This is really good. I would feel disgusting, physically and mentally, because and it would be at, like, 4 p.m. dinner.
Yeah, so as much as I like that passion and drive that it gives me, I don't like that being so one track with some things and getting, like, obsessive over some things overrides other things in my life and takes away from them. And that's where I know that there's no balance in it, because, like I said, my definition of balance is that no one thing in your life takes over to the extent where it's taking away from other things. So the second that me getting really excited about one thing starts taking away from other aspects of my life, a social life, nutrition, mental health, I know that that's wrong. And I know that that's not balanced. And so in that sense, I don't think that balance comes very naturally to me, because I have to always kind of be forcing myself, pushing myself back to that balance zone.
And it does affect, like, your life. There are, as much as it is completely your own, it affects other people. So when you're one-track minded and you're not giving other aspects of your life time or space or adequate energy, other people will either have to pick up that slack, or it just becomes really difficult for other people to be in your life in the way that they are supposed to.
And Catherine says, as my roommate last year who would get upset with me for our room being messy. And that one-track mindedness has manifested in different ways, like for different things throughout my life. It's been school and work, and it's been like obsessing over the future, or like just getting really caught up in like future instead of present. And it's also been with health and fitness, which I know a lot of people experience as well, because you start to have this really good thing in your life and then you think more, but there can be too much of a good thing.
I think that's the most common like idea of balance is when it's health and fitness, or maybe you just start in the gym, or that kind of takes over slowly more and more of those other aspects of life, and all of a sudden that's the only thing you think about and the only thing you do, and everything else that you do, you're doing to affect, you know, the health and fitness part of you. And especially on social media, I think the balance trend has been balancing that out for a lot of people, and creating this idea that you can still be healthy and be fit while doing a bunch of other things in your life as well. And it can still be a valuable and important and respected part of your life.
Yeah, like when I started personal fitness and I started eating healthier, it came from a very positive place, and it was very balanced in the beginning because it was something that I was adding into my life. Like we had always been athletic. Like our parents are quite healthy. Like we had been raised that way. When I kind of started taking fitness into my own hands for my own personal fitness, it started very positively and it started very balanced. It's easy to see when something is having a positive effect on your life and then think that that means
it just
more.
Yeah.
And I also think that when you first kind of realize that you have control over your fitness and nutrition, and that you can directly impact how you look, how you feel, your physical performance, like it can become addicting in a sense, because there really are no boundaries. Like there's always more ways that you can perform better. There's always different ways that you can look, and there's always different things that you can do. So it can become addicting when you get a little bit of a good thing and you think that you need to keep spiraling and doing more and more.
And that's okay. Like adding things that you enjoy more and more into your life, that's life. Like that's how it should go, until it reaches the point where
it's taking away from
other
things.
And maybe it's becoming so positive that it's negative.
Exactly.
Is when, you know, having this idea and this outlook on life that balance is necessary to improve all areas and strengthen all areas, and that having balance and allowing yourself to go out with friends if you want to will just, number one, raise the quality of your life, and number two, that's just going to help you strengthen your health and fitness and strengthen the parts of your life that are important.
When it started taking over my thoughts, so much so that it was hard to like put enough focus on other things, when it started to take over my social life to the point where I would just say no to things in the name of health and fitness, and it was like taking away from that social aspect of my life, and it took away from fun, it took away from mental health a bit, because like I said, it was like overpowering in your mind when you think that there's only this one thing that you're going for, and that everything in your life is either adding to it or subtracting to it, and it's this huge sense of control. It started taking away from other things in my life, so this thing that started as such a positive became too much of a good thing, and it overpowered and it took away from other things in my life. And I think that that's where I got my definition of balance from, was when I realized that, yes, it is possible to have too much of something because it takes away from the other things in your life. And that's not balanced, and that's not healthy, and that doesn't lead to your happiest, best life. So then, over this past year, I've kind of had to backtrack. I've had to taper that down in ways that still make me feel good, in ways that can still be really positive for me, but in ways that allow for all of the other aspects of my life to also hold their weight and also be prevalent and purposeful in my life. So now I've kind of gone through this past year of refinding that balance and figuring out how health and fitness can support all of the other aspects of my life and also be separate and allow those other things to thrive as well.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those different areas and kind of different forms of balance and different aspects of balance, if you will.
Yeah, how we can find balance or like actively make sure that we're having balance in these different areas of life.
One of the big ones that I think everyone has kind of talked about or heard about, but is not necessarily in this trending definition of balance, is a work-life balance.
Mm-hmm. Whether it's work like your job with life or whether it's work like school with life, because we all know that school is a lot. Whether you're in college or high school, you have classes, you have work, you have pressure, you have things to do. And so whether it's work or it is school, it's easy to let that either be all-consuming or to step back and want to push it away completely.
Or to allow it to exhaust you,
Mm-hmm.
so much so that you're not left with any space or time for anything else.
Mm-hmm. So how can you find a work-life balance? It's going to be a little bit different based on everyone's situation. That's kind of the theme of balance, is that it's going to fit everybody a bit differently. But I think like having set hours and times and whatever it is where you're on with work and when you're off with work and not letting it blend too much. I think that when work or school seeps too much into the rest of your life and there's no direct boundaries of when it's shut off, when you're doing it, when you're not doing it, then it can be really mentally draining. It can have negative effects.
Definitely.
Definitely.
I know that's something that has been insanely difficult and insanely challenging for me when a lot of your work becomes like on your phone. And I know we've talked about this before, especially with like the time difference of being in Singapore. I get on my phone at like 10 p.m. at night
to do social
to
media
do social
stuff,
media
'cause that's
stuff.
when
Like,
the rest of the world wakes up.
we have a meeting tonight at 10 p.m. So hours become so muddled, and it's really hard to, turn it on and off. And so it ends up being like work is on 24/7, and that is exhausting, and that is chaotic, and that's draining, and it's really hard to find a balance with that. But I know that it's necessary, and I think that's part of the reason why I've been trying to stay off my phone. And at this point, I've kind of gone in the opposite direction where I just have such an aversion to picking up my phone right now, because I know the second I open it, like, it's going to cause me stress. It's going to put this idea of chaos in my head, and it's just going to be a negative thing. So now I'm not balanced in the sense of, like, adding more life in with the work. Now it's like I'm trying to flip it. I've been so imbalanced with work, like just controlling every time I do anything, basically, that now I need to like go in the opposite direction, kind of relearn how to exist without thinking about work and like how I can make something work. Or instead of, if I have a moment of downtime, let me go outside or let me do literally anything else. Like, that is not healthy in any way, and that is not enjoyable or comfortable or any good adjective.
I think it's hard when everything is so online these days for school and for work.
And with a lot of people being at home, like, just being in a different physical space can help you kind of separate things, but working at home,
it's also hard because it blends everything together. There's no strict on and off. There's no anything. But I think being online in general, like, when you're in class, you can also be scrolling on Instagram or you can also be texting a friend.
Right.
And then when you're trying to check out and you're at home and you're doing anything that you're doing at home, you have constant access to, like, your email or group projects coming up and like people texting you and stuff. Like, it's very hard when things are online to have a distinct boundary, and so it's almost like things get blended together. And I think not only is that mentally draining, but it's also very unproductive, because you don't have set times where you're like, I'm gonna get this work done, because when you're getting work done, you're getting distracted by texts and music and things like that. And then when you're trying to rest and take a step back and live your life, there's just constant access to you with your phone, and you're constantly able to be thinking about the work that you have to do and doing those things. So I think that actively I know a lot of students listen to this, we're students as well. Like, if you can have set hours where you go to the library, you go somewhere, especially being able to get out of your house or dorm or apartment or whatever it is and get into a different space to do your work, that helps your home feel like your home and not your office and not your workspace. As much as you can do to separate the time of things and separate the physical location of work versus life will help you mentally create this balance so much.
I think another big thing is working from your bed.
It sounds so comfortable.
It sounds so comfortable. It sounds so nice. But then when you go to sleep, like, even if you don't think you are, your brain, like, doesn't know the differentiation, and your brain is like, it's still going to be going, and there's still going to be that sense of chaos and everything. So I think work-life balance, especially now, number one, being, like, in the full swing of school. Number two, with a lot of things being at home and a lot of things being online, work-life balance is something to be super, super aware of, and to add more life and more separation into that mix can be so helpful.
Yeah. And I think, like you're doing now as well, not going on your phone too much in the morning. If you can get off of your phone and your computer, like, if you can get any work or homework done, like, before dinner even, so that then your whole night you're kind of checked out from it. Like, people say 9 to 5, but it's crazy because, like, nothing's a 9 to 5 anymore. Like, even when you check out, usually, like, that you still have work to do, you still have responsibilities and things. So as much as you can do to, like, have a time where you're done working and now it's time to live your life, and not picking up your phone in the morning until you need to, like, things like that are going to really help you have that mental and physical separation.
Another form of balance, which is super big with kind of the hashtag balance or social media trend of balance right now, is balance with fitness.
Yeah, I think especially when you have so many fitness influencers or fitness professionals online where all they're showing you is fitness, it's easy to kind of see that and be like, oh, their entire life is fitness. If I want fitness, I need to be just
and fitness. I think a lot of fitness influencers, their entire lives are fitness. I think about
for
that
some people
all
that's
the time.
That's
if you
the
look
case.
through someone's feed or someone's story, it's every single thing is the gym. And I
tied to it.
Right. And I understand, like, that's someone's product is talking about and sharing the gym, but there's so much more to life, and you can still have all of your energy in the same way that you are right now into the gym while adding other things into it. And that is one of the biggest things for me, is, like, you can still have a super well-respected, a super strong fitness life, as well as
a life outside of that.
Well, I don't want to say, like, life. I don't like saying life outside of something, because I think everything is just, that is your life.
Yeah, everything's interconnected.
That is your life, and, like, but you can have more than just one aspect of your life, and you can have more than one aspect and more than just fitness be super strong.
Yeah, I think something that helps with that is recognizing that your workout, the gym, is an hour to 2 hours of your life, depending on how long it takes you to, like, get ready and go to the gym and all of that, right? That's not your entire day. That's not your entire life. And if you can take that hour and a half of your day and let that be your gym time, during that, you're focused on the gym. You're feeling good. You're enjoying your workout. And then after that, you get to feel good and then live the rest of your life. Because really, it only is an hour or two of your day. So it's about everything is about, like, kind of mentally and physically separating things. Like, be present with yourself. Try to be as connected with your body as you can when you're in the gym. And then when you leave the gym, enjoy the rest of your day and your life, and recognize that that was a great hour or 2 hours, and now you get to have a great life of other things too. And a quick tip that does help me with that a lot is putting my phone on Do Not Disturb while I'm working out. It's so easy to get distracted on our phones, scrolling on things, texting people, all of that while we're in a workout, and that, again, meshes
It just creates
everything.
no separation, and when you have no separation and everything is on all at the same time, it takes away from the, like, impact of those things in your life and the awareness that you have in those things, and it just makes everything, like, gray. Like, it makes everything seem monotonous.
I was gonna say that exact same word.
It's not good.
No.
It's not enjoyable.
No. And another thing too, if you have your schedule your workout time in and know that that's when you're going, because if for the whole day it's up in the air, like at some point I'm going to go to the gym, I'll go later, it's always on your mind, and then it's taking over the other times of your life. Whereas if you're like, at 10 a.m. I'm going to go, and then by 12 I'll be back and showered and ready to make lunch and move on with my day, then that's the little block of your day that's dedicated to the gym. Whereas if for the whole day you're just like, oh, I'll go, then it's almost kind of muddling the whole rest of your day because it's always in the back of your mind.
And that is not the best way to live your life.
So that was a couple tips on how to balance fitness with the rest of your life. And now let's talk a little bit about nutrition, because I think that might be the biggest thing that people work.
I think
to find
that's
balance
like,
with.
you see TikToks. The TikTok trend and social media trend around balance right now is so focused on kind of this nutrition aspect. And I think it's the central part of, connecting fitness with other parts of your life, like fitness and social, and allowing for more in your life. I think it comes down to nutrition, because if someone is dead set on fitness, health and fitness, that's the only thing they do. Like, you are going to the gym and you're going home and you are saying no to social activities because it doesn't fit with, like, your nutrition plan. And that's the part where that's too much of a good thing, right? You need to make space for other parts. And you can still, 90% of the time, cook all your own meals and eat in ways that support your physical health directly. But you can also say yes to plans on the weekends and go out with friends and, order. If you're spending money at a restaurant, like, please order what you want.
So true.
If you're dropping $15 on a drink, like, get the one that you want. If you don't like it, then that's just, why would you spend your money on it?
And your time and your experience with your friends and family and whoever it is. Balance with nutrition, a big piece of it is understanding that nutrition and food has a lot of different purposes. Like, the main purpose is to fuel your body and give your body energy. Then it can take the fitness aspect, where it can support physique goals and fitness goals. Then it's the more just all-around body physical health aspect, where filling your body with whole foods and natural foods is healthy for you and good for you. But then there's the social aspect, where food is such a social thing and a way that people connect with other people and spend time with other people. And so that needs to be valued too.
And allowing yourself time for that is this idea of balance. Pulling that part of the pie chart, expanding it a little bit, making time and space around this idea of nutrition and what you're eating. It's going to elevate your mental health. It's going to elevate your social life. It's going to elevate so many other aspects of your life that make your life enjoyable.
So balance with nutrition can come in different ways. It can be that for different time periods, different things like vacations, holidays, weekends, things like that, nutrition can have a different weight. It can mean that throughout every day you're having a balance, like the 80-20 rule, things like that, where you're like having a balance of whole foods and then other processed foods and things like that. You're having that balance within your day. And it can also be balance within a meal, or within like one meal time, you can have a balance of different things. And it doesn't always have to be the same thing or the one direct standard cleanest food you can get, because that's not sustainable and that's not going to be the most enjoyable thing, and that's not the best for your mental or long-term physical health. And if being healthy is something that you want to do forever, then you need to find balance within it now.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about social life and the balance of social life and all the other aspects of your life a lot. Another thing that I think is super important to balance out in your life, and that is not super heavily talked about, is independence versus dependence.
Yeah, I think it's easy to go one way or the other. We both have very independent personalities.
Hyper-independence,
a little
if
bit,
you will.
Where, like, we enjoy getting things done by ourselves. We enjoy, like, the independent time and things that, you can do just by yourself and get done. Like, I enjoy spending time with myself and, like, being alone with myself. I do.
Right, and that's important in either sense, but again, it's the whole, when you go too far in one direction, then it's no longer beneficial. I think for me, hyper-independence is, like, my go-to reaction for anything. And even when I'm in friendships or relationships, like, I am super independent, and that works.
Yeah.
and that independence is valuable in any form of relationship. But my go-to is, like, if I notice something is wrong or something is off or a friendship or relationship ends, I just revert to hyper-independence.
Just, like, pull back completely.
Completely. Because I know no matter what, like, I have myself, and that's okay. Like, that's good with me. Like, I'm totally comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it gets lonely, or it gets
unfulfilling a little bit when there's nobody else in your life.
And the exact opposite is true. Like, some people, their go-to is to become hyper-dependent on someone else and put all of their energy into someone else. That's like a coping mechanism or a reaction to things. And independence and dependence in different areas is necessary. Like, that's healthy, that's needed in every single friendship, relationship, whatever it is. You should have a level of independence, and you should have a level of dependence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be slightly different for different people. Like, I'm more comfortable with a little bit more independence, and I know other people are more comfortable with a little bit more dependence,
mm-hmm.
and that's how they feel secure and comfortable and healthy in a relationship. But once it goes too far in one direction, that's when you got to bring the balance aspect back into it.
Yeah. Being independent is very empowering, and I think that it's necessary for everybody to have a sense of independence. Like, truly, you need to be able to comfortably spend time with yourself. You need to be able to understand yourself. You need to be able to, like, be alone and not freak out and be able to do things and get things done by yourself. But at the same time, like, we also thrive off of being around other people and having good relationships in our lives, so it shouldn't be too far one way or another, and it's just another aspect of life that we need to find balance with. But I think when two people, friendship, relationship, family, whatever it is, who are independent and confident with themselves, have their own things going with themselves, come together and have a relationship, it's so strong and it's so good in that way, because you're not always, if you're too dependent on somebody else and you're finding your worth in other people, then you're always questioning your own self-worth. You're always questioning where you stand with them. And your mood and your mental health and everything is going to be fluctuating because of that, and always based on the actions of other people. And I mean, everybody has that to a little bit of an extent, even when you are very independent. But if you are two independent people and you have a friendship, you have a relationship, then you both feel very secure in that, and you can bring your own things to the table. You can learn from each other, you can respect each other, and you can really thrive off of having friendships and relationships in your life when everybody is secure with themselves as a whole, and then can kind of bring that to the table. And life is better when you have good people in it. Different phases in your life, obviously, you're going to have more people or less people, but being able to have some sort of circle of supportive people, even if it's just your family, because that's also huge, is just an important thing to have in your life.
And I know thinking of all these different aspects of life and laying them out and saying you should have this and this and this and this can be overwhelming, but bringing it back to the idea of balance. Balance is just allowing space for whatever you want
mm-hmm.
and whatever you need into your life,
mm-hmm.
and being okay with that, and not thinking that everything is all or nothing.
Mm-hmm. Everything in life is a balancing act, and I don't think anybody does it perfectly. We definitely don't, or at least I definitely don't, but this was...
I most definitely do not.
I most definitely do not.
Especially that independence piece.
Right. But this is our perspective on what balance means to us and kind of where we're at with different things of balance in our lives.
So balance is allowing so many different aspects of your life to exist and thrive, but it is not using it as an excuse for an unhealthy lifestyle.
Welcome to The Double Take.
All right, we're going to rapid fire through these questions. I have them up on my phone. How do I have a balanced diet?
It's such a loaded question.
That is a long one.
Everything depends on where you're starting. So wherever you're starting, look at where you can bring in more whole foods, more fruits, vegetables, proteins, all of those whole foods. Where can you bring them into your life?
I think the quickest answer for this is don't label foods as good or bad.
Mm.
Think of like the value that you're going to get for them, whether that is health value or
feel good
value, like mental value.
And allowing flexibility within every day how you want it, because you're going to, if you're restricting, like you're going to give in at some point and then you're going to go overboard. So being able to just have some flexibility with every day, allow the things that you want, the things that are going to make you feel good, and just like enjoy that in the moment. Easier said than done, but we can all find balance with it.
This is someone's definition of balance. Balance can be different in different phases of life. Love it.
Yeah, you can be focused on different things, or like the main focus can be different at different phases of your life, depending on what responsibilities you have, what freedom you have, and what you're being drawn to.
How do you balance working out? I love working out. When I do it consistently, it gets negative. Make space and put effort into other things as well. It's not all or nothing, and you can have all aspects of life going strong at the same time.
Yeah. Let other things be fulfilling in your life as well. And if you know that you have a tendency to go overboard, get a little bit obsessive, addictive with it, make your schedule not overboard, right? Get like more into the scheduling things and maybe say I'm going to do 4 workouts a week, because that is perfect and that is enough, and that gives you space to do other things. Maybe you want to do 5, whatever it is that's going to work for you. Like, create a routine that is not overboard in nature, and then stick to that and try to fill your life and your mind with other things outside of it.
How do you balance learning, free time, hobbies, and fitness? I'm still in school. You balance them. It's difficult. You can't give everything 100% of the energy that you would like to. That goes back to the different phases of life. You got to shift the ratio of where you're putting your energy. And also, every day, you don't have to do every single thing.
That's big.
Long term, you can be doing everything long term. That doesn't mean you have to do everything to the same extent every single day. How do you balance sleep and getting up early to work out? If you want to wake up early to work out, go to sleep early.
Yeah.
Sleep is still so important.
Yeah. And some days, let yourself sleep in as well, based on your schedule. Like weekends, if you don't have things to get up for, like, let yourself sleep. You don't, just because you get up early some days, have to do it every single day.
How do you balance weights and cardio? Stick to a schedule that makes you feel good and isn't super forced to you. I don't mind doing cardio or like running on days when I work lower body. I think a very common balance of this is weights on lower body, cardio on upper body weight days, if you want to do both at the same time, or just have strict weight days, cardio days. I do it based on when I'm feeling it or when I feel like I want to push myself in that direction a little bit further, but it's based on, once again, what your life is available for and what you can handle.
Yeah. Cardio and weights both have really great benefits, so the good thing is you can be kind of intuitive about what feels good for you. Some people I know don't feel as accomplished in a workout unless they have some sort of cardio, so they want to do 10 to 20 minutes of cardio with every workout. Some people like to have set cardio days. I personally like to do cardio before upper body days, or maybe on a day on its own. So all about finding the balance of it that works for you. There's really no right or wrong answer, as long as you have a bit of both.
How do you balance being busy and resting? I'm struggling so much to relax and settle. Me too. I don't have an answer for this. I don't know how to balance that. I'm like all or nothing with that.
Yeah, well, I think that what's really helped me is having the separation of time. Like, when you're working, and when you're resting, because that's something that I struggle with as well. And I found that it's really draining when anytime I'm resting or I'm like watching a movie, I also have my computer out, like doing emails or something like that. Or when I'm working, I also put like a Netflix show on, then I'm distracted with that, and everything is blended together.
That goes back to the no separation, gray, monotonous. Separate the aspects of your life.
If you can work when you work, then let yourself rest when you rest with no distractions. You're going to feel like you actually get both of those instead of none of it, because it's all blended together.
Again, a similar question. How do you balance out time for yourself and time with friends? I think time with yourself needs to be, so there's like work and your life, there's time with friends, and then there's that relaxation time with yourself, whether that's like relaxing, working on hobbies, no pressure. That's time with yourself. Time with yourself is not your work time. Time with yourself needs to be a separate thing. And I think when you separate those things, you'll have more energy for all of them. So again, separating your time.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening and for watching today.
If you watched.
Yes. We really hope that you enjoyed this episode. We appreciate your support and all of you guys so much. You can follow us on Instagram at Girls with Goals Pod or our personal accounts, Caroline Canine
and Catherine Canine, and everything is linked in the show notes if you just want to go click over there. But again, thank you guys so much for listening and for watching.
Give the show a rating, follow wherever you're listening.
And if you are watching on Spotify, there's a little poll for you in the bottom. We'll ask a quick question, as we do. But again, thank you guys for listening. We love hanging out with you every week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye!